Salutare tuturor, astăzi am revenit cu un nou episod de My Summer Car. Am postat, nu prea mai postat în mult timp, deoarece m-am chinuit să fac mai multe videoclipuri cu My Summer Car. Cum facea mașina, nu a mers, pentru că normal că nu o să meargă. În sens că nu a mers, cum se cheamă? Nu a mers în sensul că nu mergea halshaftul, nu steering rozul, halshaftul. Bun, acum am cheia de 14. Acum am pus halshafturile, după cum puteți vedea, uitați-le. Și acum putem să să continuăm mașina. Aici am pus. O să mănânc să beau ceva. Bun. Acum putem să continuăm. Trebuie de 9 mm. 9. Unul e aici. Ăsta e aici. Și ultimul. Acum ne va trebui astea. Aici. Deci, 9 l-am deja. Aici trebuie de 10, 9 le trebuie aici jos. Bun. Acum pe partea asta. Sunt puțin reușit. Ca să știți. Deci nu vreau să vorbesc foarte mult. Videoclipul ăsta. Deja aveți idei când m-am chinuit să pun halshafturile înainte să încep videoclipul. Când am vrut să stau jumătate de oră să încep videoclipul și să stau jumătate de oră să pun astea. Bun, acum ne trebuie de 10.
sort of above up here. Boom. Car sort of bounce up like that. Oh, okay. And to the other side, we're going to do the steering rod bolt first, which is a 12mm. And you can see how we got the strut now.
Hei, olen Simo Kumppanilehdestä. Minulla olisi juuri sinulle ainutlaatuinen Kumppanilehden tarjous. Tämä uskomaton tarjous on voimassa ainoastaan tämän viikon ja ainoastaan sinulle henkilökohtaisesti. Ensimmäiset 3 kuukautta saat lehden täysin ilmaiseksi. Sen jälkeen seuraavat 2 kuukautta saat uskomattomaan hintaan 9 markkaa 95 penniä plus toimituskulut.
Da, nu vreau să mă abonez acolo. Și acum ne trebuie de 12. Cred. Eu deja l-am pus acolo.
That's like lined up with the steering rod. Pretty much we do that and it should move. Same with the other side as well. We've got 4 that we've got to do up.
Awaken to a world of wonder in Final Fantasy XIV Online.
Alright, that's the strut done, and that there is the front of the suspension done. Now we're going to be moving on to the rear of the car. So we'll start with the trail arms, and these pretty much just go on the back here, like that. Pretty much you want to have them facing like this, and then just look down a bit on the ground, and boom, there you go. You're going to move our toolbox to the rear since we're working down here. And these have 2 12mm bolts that we're going to do. These ones are a little tricky as well. As you can see, there's like a little hole there, and you can probably, yeah, you can see the little...
Acum îmi trebuie trailer armurile. Deci trebuie, uite așa. Era pe stânga, nu pe dreapta. Și acum asta. Uite aici.
To the right of that, there should be another bolt. You can see that bolt is sticking through that hole now, which is good. Same on the other side as well. Quite tricky because it's quite low to the ground, so you can't really see that well. But pretty much there's one there and there, so they're pretty close to each other. Alright, that's the trail arms done. And next up is going to be the coil springs. These require nothing but simple handwork.
Unul acolo și unul în cealaltă parte.
Bounce the car up a little bit. There we go, same on the other side. Perfect. Next up is the shock absorbers, which are these things here. We've got 2 of them, and these ones can be a little bit...
Acum shock absorberul. O să fie un șurup de 12 și 2 de 6. Aici. Primul șurub în mașină, în portbagaj. Și mai sunt 2 de 6. L-am găsit și pe celălalt. Și acum aici e primul. Și al doilea. Fumez acum pe toate ca să termin repede. Bun, și acum drambricurile. Cred că e unul de 14. Oficial am terminat cu părțile unde trebuie puse roțile. Acum o să arunc roțile de aici. O scot tot de aici, de fapt. O să scot din încărcare deocamdată. Culantul. Și sacoșa. O spun roții și o să salvez jocul.
Tricky as well. But pretty much we want to play it. Just again tricky, so there's how these are like. Like 1%. Because as soon as you put these old wheels on, they're going to deflate. Two of them. Either put new tires on these, or just buy your own set of rims with new tires, and then put one for this.
Am revenit.
For the sake of this tutorial, we're going to be putting on the bad wheels. I'm going to be driving with it, obviously, but now you don't need a jack when you put the wheels on for the first time for the car. Boom, just like that. Same on this side. And to do those up, it is a 13 mil, and there is 4 that we've got to do on each wheel.
Acum punem roțile. Și ultima. Da. Da, închid. Nu mai interesează că am făcut un heart attack. Cred că asta e ultima roată. Bun, am pus roțile. Voi bea niște apă.
So that there is all of the suspension that you've got to do. You know what? Since we're here, we may as well do the alignment for the wheels because pretty much if we push the car into the shed, it's just not going to work really. You're going to have the car veering off and it's going to go into the pit. You don't want that at all really. We're going to save ourselves the trouble now and we're going to just do it. I usually leave all the alignment and treatment at the end, but I think I might make it a little bit more convenient for this soil. So we're going to grab ourselves a 14 mil here, and what we're looking for is this little nut here. And pretty much you can only use a spanner for this, not a ratchet. You can only use a spanner. So what we're looking for is we are going to be going down on our mouse wheel here, and we're going to be scrolling all the way down until the wheel stops moving, pretty much. There we go, so that wheel stopped moving. So now with that done, we are...
Deci noi, cum ar veni, trebuie să dăm scroll ca să aliniem roțile până roata se oprește și n-a se mișca. Bun, s-a oprit și acum trebuie să dăm scroll în sus de 60 de ori. 1, 2, 3. 20. 30. 40. 50. 'Și acum, în teorie,
Satana!
în teorie,
going to scroll up 60 times. So pretty much just move your mouse wheel click by click to where you get up to 60. So 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that, you know, nothing crazy. And you want to make your way up to 60. 60. There we go. Done that 60 clicks, and by the looks of it, it is pretty well straight. We're going to do the same for the other side. So once again, come down here, and we're going to scroll all the way down until the wheel stops moving. There we go. The wheel stops moving.
Și acum la partea asta, cred că doar la asta din față trebuie să facem asta. Și acum, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Șaizeci. Nu prea aliniat ca lumea.
Moving, it's on a funny angle. Now we're going to go up 60 clicks. There we go, 60 clicks, and that is pretty straight. So that's the...
Un, doi, trei. Șaizeci.
Alignment done for the front wheels. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our toolbox, put that out of the way for now, and what we're going to do now is we're going to carefully move the Satsuma into the shed here. So just remember...
Bun, înainte de asta, mă făduce să salvez. Înainte de mutare. Bun. Am trecut prin ușă. Că e bun așa. Da, e bun. Am pus-o perfect. Cred. Să împing puțin mai în față. Bun.
So that there is all the suspension for this episode. We are now going to be moving on to a much more advanced stage of building the car, and it's the engine. Alright, so with the engine, we're going to start off with the block, which is just down here by the gearbox.
Bun.
Flip it up right, just like that, and we want to find ourselves a crankshaft, which is this one here. And this goes pretty much just on top like that. Well, it's technically the bottom, but we've got to flip around, so, you know. And to secure the crankshaft, we are going to need some main bearings, which are these things here by the rocker shaft. There's 3 of them. Main bearing number 3 goes to the far left.
Bun. Deci să înceapă distracția. Bun. Trebuie să luăm. Așa. Crankshaft-ul.
Crankshaft, which is this one here. And this goes pretty much just on top like that. Well, it's technically the bottom, but we've got to flip it.
Am pus invers motorul. Așa.
Around, so, you know. And to secure the crankshaft, we are going to need some main bearings, which are these things here.
Bun. Vom pune trusă aici. Și acum le vom strânge. Nu știam cuvântul. Nice.
Here by the rocker shaft. There's 3 of them. Main bearing number 3 goes to the far left. Main bearing number 2 goes in the middle. And main bearing 1 goes off to the right. Got our starter set here. Get that out of the way. For the main bearings, it's a 9mm, and there's 2 bolts that we're going to do on each end of the main bearings. There we go. Main bearings are done. Next up is the pistons. So now what we're going to do is we're going to flip the block around, and we're going to look around.
Al doilea. Și al patrulea. Mă duc să mă pun la somn, o să prind un bec, pentru că e beznă jocul ăsta, noaptea. Nice. Măcar am mâncat ceva. Ok. Am mâncat pe toată viața. Ăsta aici. Asta aici. Bun.
Hei, olen Simo Kumppani lehdestä. Minulla olisi juuri
Ce am cumpărat? Nici nu vreau să știu ce a cumpărat. M-am dat cu spray de muști acum 2 secunde. Mă duc să mă spăl. Bun. Bun.
So sometimes if you're lucky enough, you can actually get a piston inside, but none of these are shiny at all. So it's all like pretty worn. I'd say like around 50. And there's 2 nuts that we gotta do on each piston. There we go. That's the piston's done. Alright, so what we're gonna do now is flip the block again, and we're gonna grab our head gasket here and pop it on just like that. Next up is the cylinder head, which is this thing down here by the oil pan, and this goes right on top of there. Make sure you don't forget your head gasket, because I've done that in the past where I forgot to put the head gasket on, I put the cylinder head on.
Bun. Astea de 7 și sunt 10 șuruburi. Bun.
First, and then once I put the whole end of it, I realised head gasket. Oh no, because it's right next to the rocket cover. So I sometimes forget it myself, so don't do that. These are a 7mm, and there is 10 in total we've got to do. There we go. That's the cylinder head done. Next up is the headers, which is over here by the right next to the starter. These things here. These pretty much go on the front, just like that.
Acum header-ul. De 8. Sunt 5 roburi.
And these are in 8 mil.
Le-am pus.
That's what we're going to do. There should be 2 on this end here. Now they are a little tricky to see. So you can see there's one there and there's one at the bottom here. And there should be one right in the center here at the top. There's none at the bottom, just one on the top there. And then again on this side, there's one at the top. And one that's hidden just on the bottom.
Reclamă! Yay!
That's the head is done. So what we're going to do here is we're going to grab our motor hoist. So this might be a bit tricky, but we want to put the engine on the motor hoist here. As you can see, this doesn't work at all. You can put it maybe on the bench, but it is a little bit tricky. But I think it's easier if you just get the grill. So we want it facing just like this. There we go. I just had a little click. I'll just try and redo it again. A bit hard to hear, but pretty much once you see these bolts appear, that means it's ready to do up. So to do those, it's a 10 mil. And you can see there's one bolt there. You can see there's one there and there's one at the bottom here. And on this side, there's one at the top. And one that's hidden just on the bottom. That's the head is done. So what we're going to do here is we're going to grab our motor hoist. So this might be a bit tricky, but we want to put the engine on the motor hoist here. As you can see, this doesn't work at all. You can put it maybe on the bench, but it is a little bit tricky. But I think it's easier if you just get the grill. So
Kyllä. Joo.
No mitä helvettiä?
Kyrvä syylä.
Nu merge.
we want it facing just like this. There we go. I just had a little click. I'll just try and redo it again. A bit hard to hear, but pretty much once you see these bolts appear, that means it's ready to.
On YouTube, there are so many tutorials on how to use the engine hoist in my... from a car. But what if I told you you don't need to mess around with this painstakingly slow, squeaky-ass piece of trash? The engine hoist is fun if you want to properly roleplay car building out, but a strong Finnish man like you doesn't need no engine hoist, and therefore we can destroy it. You can manipulate the engine around super easily by picking up the engine block and rotating it around with your scroll wheel. There is no need to scoot around on your little butt finding the perfect angle underneath the engine hoist.
To do what? So to do those, it's a 10 mil. And you can see there's
Bun, eu sunt curios de ce face asta.
and one there. So just do that one there, and then do up this other one. Cool, there we go. What we're going to do is we're going to carefully just move the hoist over a bit and lift it. You want to be very careful when you're moving the hoist around with the engine on, because if you move it too fast, you can kind of glitch out the hoist and the engine a little bit. So just try to avoid moving the hoist as much as possible. Next up is the rocket shaft, which is this thing here. Next to the else.
Pentru asta. Nici nu merge să mișc. Acum merge. Bun.
Alternator, and this goes on top of the cylinder head. And to do these up, they are 8 mil, and there's 4, actually no 5 that we're going to do. There we go, so that's that done. I might move this a little bit just in the light so you guys can see it a bit better. Since we have the engine at this stage and we have the rockers on, we may as well do the rocker shaft alignment. What we're going to do is grab our screwdriver here, and we're going to go over by these little screw heads here. Now there's a couple of ways you can like sort of align these, but personally I like to do it a simple way where you just go all the way down on your mouse, and then once it stops moving, you go up by 7 clicks up. So we're going to start on this end, we're going to scroll all the way down until this stops moving. Yep, that one stops moving, and we're going to just do this first step with all these first.
Deci tu trebuie să dai scroll down până când nu se mai mișcă și pe aceea scroll up de 7 ori. Un, doi, trei, patru, cinci, șase, șapte.
So with all these no longer moving and all the way down, on each individual rocker we're going to go up 7 clicks. Cool, just like that, and we're going to do the same for the other side as well. Cool, that's the rocker done. Yeah, it's that easy really, you don't really need Plateau to do it for you, it's honestly just that easy. Right, so with the rockers done, we are now going to get the rocket cover for it, which just goes right on top like that. got 6 that we've got to do.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it.
Trecem.
Neat base 44.
There we go, that's rock come done. Right, next up is the spark plugs. So we're going to get our spark plug box and press F to get all our spark plugs out of the box. And let's just grab them, and we're going to come over to this side of the engine, and there's 4 holes that we're going to need to put the spark plug. Plugs in, doesn't matter which one they go in, it's all, you know, random, so put that in. We're going to
Whew.
do the same with the other spark plugs. Right, so those are on, and there's a special tool that we need to do them up, and that is a spark plug wrench, which you can find in the spanner set. And pretty much you just scroll up with your mouse, and they just go in. And make sure these are all the way in, because if one of them is loose, you're going to have start problems and other electrical problems, which you don't want, so double, triple check that they're all the way in. Next up is the camshaft, which is this little thing here. And this is a bit tricky, but what we want to do is get it into that little hole there, and pretty much just by placing it like this.
Am pus-o din greșeală, am vrut să o las jos. Pun unde am pus camshaftul. Nu știu unde l-am pus.
Just like that. For that, it is a 5mm, which is the smallest spanner. I think you're going to be using for like this whole engine, so.
Ah.
So, there's that. There's pretty much just 2 bolts we're going to do. Camshaft, pretty much just those 2 bolts, which is pretty easy. Next up is the camshaft gear, which is this little thing here. And this goes on.
Hei, olen Simo Kumppani-lehdestä.
Front of the camshaft, just like that. And for that, it is a 10mm. There we go. And once you start seeing it moving like that, that means it's all the way in. But what you're doing now is you're actually aligning the camshaft. Pretty much this little marking on the camshaft here. You want to align that with this little mark here and that little mark on the crankshaft. So,
Am înțeles. Deci, noi vedeți chestia asta? Noi trebuie să ducem acolo. Bun.
by scrolling up, you can move it. What we want to do is we want to carefully, see how they're not perfectly straight? So just be very careful. Boom. So that there is perfectly straight. So that lines up with that, and that lines up with that. Well, these two are already lined up, so they don't really matter. But this has to line up with that. That's the most important part. If you do not align this correctly, your car will just basically explode upon starting up. So you don't want that at all, and it's best if we get this out of the way and done. And to lock that camshaft gear in place, we're going to be using a timing chain, and that just goes over just like that.
Tot la tutorial văd că ăsta motorul e acolo. Și de asta am tendința să mă duc încolo. Bun.
There we go, that's that one all done. Next up is the water pump, which is this little thing here, and that goes on the top of this timing cover here. For that one, it is a 7mm, and there is 5 that we've got to do.
Una aici. Și ultima aici. Așa.
For that water pump, we are going to need a pulley for it, which is the water pump pulley. That just goes right on top of the water.
Bun.
That is also a 7mm. There's only 4 that we've got to do up.
The fuck? Ce reclamă mi-a dat? Fuck.
Next up is the crankshaft pulley, which is this one here.
Nu. Nu. Dacă filmam monitorul meu în sine, nu puteam să rătăce pe top niciodată.
And this one goes on the bottom, just like that. And for the crankshaft pulley, it is a 11mm.
What the fuck? Era ceva Fox dintr-un joc și era like, nu pot zic. Mi bombo.
There we go. Next up is the alternator. This pretty much just goes off to the right here. So grab you and just boom, just like that. We're gonna start off with an easy one, which is a 7mm, and this one it goes up to the top here. So you see the alternator. You got this. Oh, I'm already not happy. This goes up here, and there's just that one bolt that we've got to do. But that one, but there's a hidden one, which a lot of people always forget, and that is the 10mm that's actually behind the alternator. So if you come around here, well, there's that little.
A, poți să pucuiești în masă. Bine de știut.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to grab our alternator belt, and we're going to pretty much just put it on the front here, just like so. We want to move the alternator with our hands, and what we want to do is scroll all the way down on our. Our mouse until it stops moving. Boom. So now what we want to do is scroll up 2 clicks, just like that. You don't need to move it anymore. Now to secure that, we're going to.
Bun.
Now use a screwdriver, and be careful not to move the alternator. What we're going to do is use a screwdriver here to do that screw in, and that now has secured the alternator in place. you shouldn't be getting like an annoying squealing noise. Next up is the distributor, which is behind this old oil filter, which I don't recommend really using. This goes on the front of the engine, which goes into that hole, just like that, and this is also done with a screwdriver. Now this distributor is adjustable. Now, really the only way of knowing how to adjust it properly is by sound. So for now, we're not going to adjust it at all. We're just going to screw it into place so that way it's not going anywhere. And what we want to do is, when we start the car up, we want to hear the noise. What we do is we loosen this up just by 2 clicks, and then we adjust the distributor around by a hand to hear when the ringing noise stops, and that means it's good. So we'll do that later in the video. Next up is the engine plate, which is this little thin plate here, and now we're moving on to the other side of the engine, and that goes on just like that. And now we want
Bun.
to grab the starter, which is off to the right here, and put you.
Bun. Cred că vom încheia videoclipul aici. Ăsta a fost un videoclip successful. Da. Ne vedem data viitoare. Pa, pa. Doar să închid. Pa, pa.